How's it going, guys? Today we're looking at a guitar that was so futuristic that it wasn't even appreciated in its own time. A true hipster. And that is the Yamaha RGX A2. So I hear you asking, what's so futuristic about it? Well, Yamaha wanted to push the boundaries of what a traditional build was, and they also wanted something that could be replicated accurately over and over for production purposes. So what they did was they took a sandwich of woods, so they've got a lighter wood at the core and then a hard veneer over the top. Because obviously sort of light soft woods don't hold resonance particularly well, what they did was they took the bridge and they put posts through to the back. So it's also string through, but the whole bridge is actually a solid piece. So kind of like a semi-hollow in that sort of regard. But that's not all. They were, I think, the first manufacturer to do barrel tuners as stock, which are... They're different looking, and it's something that you do see more and more these days, but it's something that was quite innovative at the time, and the purpose behind it was that it was harder to knock them out of tune. There's also an added feature which we'll have a look at in a bit. So let's go over the specs. Obviously we've covered the body construction. It's a maple neck, rosewood fretboard, synthetic resin 43mm nut, 22 medium frets, 13 3/4 radius fretboard, twin P90 sized humbuckers, rotary three-way switch and single volume, and the aforementioned proprietary bridge. Now, at first glance, this is a standard Super Strat, and yeah, it is. But it's light as a feather. This weighs absolutely nothing, even with a sneaky 9V. The jack placement's really cool. It's got the sort of strap buttons that we love on this channel. It's got no front fret markers, but it does have the side dots. And it's a bolt-on neck, but without a neck plate, which is nice. Now, when these guitars first came out, I was lusting after them because my dad had the RGX 112 since I was a kid, and everybody that I knew wanted that guitar because, as you can see, it's just gorgeous. And this was the successor to it. One thing you'll notice is these recessed knobs, which are quite a design choice. The upside to them is they look really cool. The downside to them is that if you like to do volume swells with your little finger, it's difficult, even with the knurled edges on the knobs. An interesting design choice, but I quite like it. It's different, and we all know that I love different on this channel. Now, the Alnico 5 pickups aren't anything special. They do the job, and they are passive. So what's the battery box about? Because there's definitely a battery in there. And the secret really is that when you plug a lead in, you've got lights. And these aren't just for show. These actually show you which pickups are selected. So when we're on the blue pointing downwards, obviously that's the bridge pickup. You rotate it, you've got both lights, that's both pickups. Rotate it again, and you're just on the neck pickup. It's not something that was necessary, but again, it's just really cool. Like, why hasn't there been more of that going on? And I've got to admit that the lights were one of the reasons that I really wanted it in the first place. Don't hold that against me. Now, the RGX A2 was originally built in 2005 in Taiwan, and they built it for about 10 years, and the later models were built in Indonesia. This is one of the earlier Taiwanese models. It's showing its age a bit, but, you know, it's 20 years old. I think we can give it a pass. The downside to the construction on this is that the finish is really easy to dent. Before I bought it, it had a few sort of dings, not just in the corners, but on the front and on the back, and it's obviously been well used. But that's the payoff for innovation and a much lighter body. The satin finish hardware is really, really nice to look at, and it goes perfectly with the aircraft grey finish. This model was also available in a black. Another nice finish detail is probably not going to pick up on camera too well, but it's actually got a painted binding in silver. Now, one of the showstoppers on this guitar is the bridge. It's so minimalist, it's completely flat, and it's really comfortable to play because you've got no grub screws sticking up into your hand. So it's vastly different from the sort of Fender bridges that you get, and it doesn't come with the drawbacks of intonation issues that you get with a lot of tunematics. Despite how low and flat it is, it's actually fully intonatable, and you can set the action really easily, in pretty much the same way that the Fender saddles work. Another really nice design feature of this is the plastic fascia on the headstock, which isn't doing anything. It adds a cool kind of sculpt to the whole thing, something that Yamaha like to do. And it's something that I like to see on headstocks from time to time. It just makes things look a bit more modern, just a little bit more out there. But because it's got that cap on the headstock, you can't adjust the truss rod at that end. So the truss rod is actually accessed through a little plate on the bottom of the neck. And did I mention how light this thing is? Now, when this first came out, I remember there being a lot of questions about being able to change pickups, and the truth is that regular humbuckers won't fit. They're not as wide as these, and they are a little bit taller. So these are actually exactly the size of soap bar P90s, so you could put P90s in it, but I think that would detract from the whole point of it, because it doesn't really look like it's designed for that kind of music. However, the stock pickups do sound alright. Let's take a listen. So as you can see, it's not going to win any awards for its tone, but when you consider that there isn't a lot of density in the body, it's handling quite well. And that's even with not having changed these strings for about 9 years. They're a bit old. So, the pros. It looks great. The tuners are really smooth and stable. The bridge is really comfortable to play, and it's light as a feather. The downsides, you can't swap pickups out, and it dents pretty easily. But who really cares when it's got lights in it? When these first came out, they retailed at I think around £350 or thereabouts, so it was out of my budget at the time. But I bought this one in 2017 for £70 on eBay. And part of that was down to the fact that it had been listed wrong. The guy had listed it as an A300, which I think is a keyboard. So I sniped it and got a steal. The good thing is, people don't really know much about these, and while they're not that sought after, they're still relatively cheap. I would easily say that 250 quid or thereabouts for one that's in good condition is about the sweet point for what you'd be expecting. So with that in mind, would you buy one? If I came across a black one, I would. They did a bass version, which was kind of cool. And before I go, my album of the week for this week is Volume 1 by Envisioned, who are a mental French two-piece. You can't really explain what they are, so I'd say just go check it out. And with that in mind, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.